Is it me or does that theme seem really low?
I thought it was just a slow build.
Oh, wait, no.
there it is.
That's our headphone volume. Sorry.
Oh, so it was fine for them.
Oh,
People listening,
yeah.
but we
It
were
was
like,
great
what's
for
going
them.
on? Did you hear that, JP?
It's Monday.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, great.
Oh, you can't hear anything?
Did we even check? Did we even
you know
test our
what? I didn't
mics?
plug JP in.
Oh,
That would explain it.
This is live.
Can
might
you
as well
hear
be
this,
live.
JP?
Ooh, now I can.
It's Monday, man. We've had a morning, so
We have had a morning.
it's just
Thank goodness.
I went to Burger King this morning to get a large coffee.
Waited in line for 15 minutes.
Waited in line for about 15 minutes. Had to pull up after 6. I would imagine you don't open your doors until you've got your stuff ready,
I would
right?
think
Like,
so,
hey,
yeah.
let's not half
Not
the
always
people
the
coming
case.
through want coffee, so let's at least have the coffee
You would
pot
think
turned
that.
on when we open the door.
That would make sense.
No, she's like, we've got to brew it. I'm like, okay. I feel like that's their way of trying to get you just to go away. But I'm like, no, I'll wait. So I pull up to wait for about 15 minutes, and then she comes out and goes, we didn't have hardly any cream or sugar left, and we didn't have any larges.
Oh, my gosh.
So
what are you supposed to do?
She gave me like 2 mediums and like a few sugars and like 1 cream. So
And a kiss and a have a good day.
so that's how my morning started.
Huh.
But hey,
well, I got a
it
fun
could've been
joke. You just
worse.
reminded me. How does Moses make his coffee? He brews it.
Because he's a Jew.
Because he's a Jew. Yeah, that's very true. Was a Jew. I don't know. if
Very
he's still
great
alive.
speculation there, JP.
I've never had BK breakfast. It's pretty good.
The breakfast. I love the French
sandwich?
toast sticks are really good.
yeah?
You do like those French
They're
toast
delicious,
sticks?
man.
Huh.
They're delicious, but the coffee not so much. It's the most bitter coffee I've ever had in my life. McDonald's is got the coffee.
We're not sponsored by either one, but if McDonald's, you want to send us some
Actually,
coffee.
I think Sheetz has the best coffee of those three.
And
but
Sheetz is like, now if you don't know, Sheetz is more of a southern around here part.
I know,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
it's starting to
Yeah,
expand.
Wawa. It's kind of like a Wawa.
but just like Wawa.
But I think Wawa has better food. I'm not gonna
Really?
lie. Sheetz has better choices.
I haven't eaten at
but
Wawa so long. I
miss
can't really
Wawa,
speculate.
man.
It's
When I
been
lived in
probably like
Richmond,
6 years.
So good.
Yeah, that's where last one I went to was in Richmond. I was visiting some friends.
Miss it. Oh, yeah, over there near the train tracks. near that shopping center
Bottoms
with the
up
Target.
pizza if you're
Yeah,
ever in
bottoms
Richmond.
up.
That's where it's
Oh,
at.
my
I tried to
goodness.
climb through a ceiling this morning, so I've got insulation in my lungs, and it's
true.
making me cough.
Stuff's so itchy.
But
It's
tell them
very
what you
itchy.
accomplished.
We've had a door at the office that's been locked now for about a month.
It's been a little while.
And it's been locked from the inside. No one could get into it. And so we've been trying to find every nice way to get it done, and we
Not
just
possible.
can't get it to done.
Nope.
Get it done. So
Can't get it to done.
Can't get it to
So
done.
what'd you
It's
do?
Monday.
What'd you do?
I kicked it in.
That's right. You did LAPD style. It was amazing.
Yeah.
There was like a family huddled in the corner, like, no.
And we
Get down. Where's
we
the
had a
kid?
flashbang
It was
before we
great.
went in. It was great.
great.
But no, so that's how my morning started. Coffee with very little creamer, very little sugar. That took forever to get, and then I had to kick a door down after climbing into the ceiling and getting
So that was- it
insulation
was a
in my
very
lungs. So
aggressive
it's been
door
a
kick,
Monday,
yeah.
and I haven't even started talking about The Walking Dead yet.
Oh, is that what we're here for?
3 minutes into it. I'm
man.
usually the one to have to pull y'all in. But so we're back with a new podcast as we get closer and closer to the mid-season premiere.
3 weeks. We
Is it only 3
Rick?
weeks?
It's
It's got to be because we've got
check
this
the date.
Sunday, which is nothing. Next Sunday is the Super Bowl,
Yep.
and then the Sunday after that,
I'm
I
having
believe,
a Super Bowl party. Y'all are welcome to come down and go if you
Thank
come if y'all want
So
to.
nice of you.
Full of treats.
What kind of dip will there be?
Well, I like sour cream and onion. French onion dip is delicious.
Wintergreen
Also,
skull.
there is.
Oh, God.
Ugh, no.
I had a customer who he brings in his dip cans. And he's like, look, man, I got this sleeve of pouches. There ain't no pouches in here. Look, he takes it open. It's just loose dip,
Yeah.
We take it to the back. It turns out he's repacking his cans with potting soil.
Wow.
And bringing them in for like a refund, claiming it's like a factory defect. They put the dip in instead of the
What
pouches.
a douchebag.
And it's potting soil?
It's potting soil. And I'm not like a dipper, so I like just, on site, I'm not like, oh, man.
I'd be the same way. I just would be like,
You should
it
step
looks
out
like
of the
dip to
office
me.
with like something in your mouth and be like, I don't know, it tastes fine.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it's kind of like dirt, but that's how
But that's
it tastes,
just
right?
spitting. That's just chewing tobacco. That tastes like dirt. Comes
Yeah,
from the
I
dirt.
think I tried that one time as a
Wow.
kid, and I got like my head was spinning. It was it's
I'm-
not for me.
I'm very. So what happened?
Well, by that
Did you
time,
punch him?
Did you tell him to get out of here?
I didn't
Did you
even
Negan
realize
him?
until he was long gone.
No.
JP, did you grab a bat from the back and walk up front and put him on his knees and play Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo
Right.
with just
Did
him?
you tell him you will shut this shit down right now?
If I see him again, that's exactly what I'm going to launch.
Do you have your leather jacket in the back for the occasion and your red scarf that I gave you?
I have my members only jacket.
Close enough.
yeah.
Close enough. You see this? I'm a member. And if you
And
listen
you're
to
not.
me, maybe you can too.
Well, That
Well, that's
sucks, but what a
sad, yeah.
douchebag.
So wait for him to come back, and I hope he tries it again.
Yeah, you
That's
and me
really
both.
exciting. What's wrong with
And he doesn't know that you guys have caught him yet.
No, that's actually
that's
not
exciting.
the first time he's done it.
Man, I wish I would lived closer to where you worked, because I would absolutely be like, if he's in the store, text me. I want to see this. I love seeing people caught in lies. It's
Oh, yeah.
so
It's always
fun to
fun.
just watch them try to backpedal.
Well,
but anyways,
I want to talk about what I did.
okay, talk about what you did, and then we'll promise folks, hang tight. We're
'Cause
going
I'm
to
really
talk about
excited.
The Walking Dead.
I did absolutely nothing this weekend. So I
I
watched
bet
the
you had a
Power
good
Rangers trailer like 50 times.
I'm getting
It's the newest
old.
one.
Friday night, I was supposed to go to a friend's house, and I laid down at I sat down at 6 to watch TV and maybe get
Sat
like a
down
10
and turned
minute.
into a lay down.
Right, yeah. I tried to take one of those 10-minute power naps I've
Nope.
been hearing so much
Nope.
about, and they don't work because 10 minutes turns into 2 hours, and you wake up feeling like you got hit by a freight train.
That's like the 10-minute nap is like Bigfoot. People talk about it, and you think it might exist, but you've never seen it. You've never experienced it.
right.
So you're like, maybe.
I haven't, and I really, really wanted to, and it didn't work.
Heard they found a 10-minute nap off the coast of Madagascar one time.
It's pretty elusive. You know, that 2-hour nap, though, man, they're all
Oh
over
my
the place.
God, I love it.
They're like, I was trying to think of a Pokemon on Pokemon Go that was everywhere, but I can't remember. They're like a
Bird. What was the bird one?
Ratata.
Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat.
But anyways, Walking Dead, we're back. Amnesty Love
Hello.
33. Let me start off and say Amnesty Love 33. Amethyst,
We
yeah.
got it.
You won that necklace like 2 podcasts
It's
back.
a beautiful ear necklace.
It's made of real ear. So we need you to email us your info so we can mail it to you.
That's all we want you to do.
And if you don't want it, just let us know, and I guess we could draw again. But it's a really cool necklace full of ears, and we want you to have
And
it.
if you contact us soon, I will include a card with one of those like where you can record a message in, and we'll get Justin to record a nice message for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Since you love
She
his
said
voice
she-
so much.
Oh,
Was she-
jeez. I thought you were going to say like a nose bracelet to go with it or something.
Oh wow, that's crazy!
Something
a nose bracelet,
We'll
an ear
consider
necklace,
that.
and some finger
I'll
earrings.
record you a personal message as you open it. It's like, hello.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. But so Amnesty Love 33, thank you so much for being a repeat listener. Now all we need from you is to email us, podcastingdeadpodcast@gmail.com. We just need your mailing address, and
That's it.
right?
That's literally it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just mailing address.
I can't think of anything. I mean, you can just put a nice story. You can be like, "How you doing?"
Yeah, you
Whatever.
can just,
but literally, just put your address in there.
And so we've got to do our new segment that I love, the new listener shout out.
New listener. No.
Brilliant. I swear I'll get
I
that
added an
produced
echo
soon.
to the end of that.
I noticed. But so if you're not, some people may be first time commenters, that doesn't matter. If if you've been listening for a long time, we appreciate it. But if we see you comment for the first time, we're going to give you a shout out.
Absolutely.
So we've got 2. I'll let you 2 take this.
Okay.
And start, Matt, you start with the first. JP, you'll both.
Thank you. Okay, sure.
That second one looks a little.
I believe it's
I don't know how to
Mershawn
say
Carroll.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Mershawn Carroll. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out the second one too.
Thanks to listening. Thanks
Yeah,
for listening.
very nice.
God bless. I cannot. It is Monday, man. It is Monday. I can't even
You
talk.
used all your energy kicking that door down. that BK coffee sucked all of it away.
Man, that BK coffee did take something out of me.
But no, Mershawn Carroll. I believe that I pronounced that right. They want to see a fight between just a one-off fight.
I
between
didn't
a
like that
samurai.
because
You
it
don't like
involved Michonne dying.
that? Yeah, he said, and then how would we feel?
Mama Michonne.
Obviously, if Mama Michonne died, I would not be happy. So
Right. So obviously we wouldn't probably.
it'd be cool
have
to see her fight a samurai, but
She needs to win though
Yeah,
in this
absolutely.
scenario. I don't want to see her die.
So, good
JP
question.
and I have both said we'd probably quit watching if Michonne died. So
Yeah, there's a good chance, yeah.
if Mama Michonne dies, we riot.
Mama Michonne, there you go. Yeah, screw Daryl, right? Let him go. Just keep Michonne.
Go back to watching Fox Sunday nights. I don't even know what they play in the 9 o'clock block. When I
Right
last
now,
watched
football.
Football. No
Yeah,
X-Files.
Right now. No, man. They had that little miniseries, and they're talking about doing. Oh, sorry, I don't want to get off traffic. Sorry.
JP, let's get that second.
You almost got me. You almost got me.
Martzy. And
Marcy,
That's all right,
thank you
Marcy.
for listening.
in parentheses, Matt put direct to last podcast to hear thoughts about Shane.
That's fair. I did put that. That was
Shane,
more of a stage.
like if
you're reading
more of
stage
something
directions,
you don't read.
I want to direct you to the scene from Hercules where Kevin Sorbo yells "disappointed," and he read the. Just watch it because he read the stage direction. He's supposed to be disappointed, but he read the word there. It says, act disappointed. He
And
said,
that made the movie?
Disappointed. Yeah, it made the show. He actually did in the show.
No, the show.
I love that show.
Yeah, JP.
So you
So,
just
for
read the
future
stage
reference,
directions.
when something is in parentheses,
I should only think it.
it would mean that you don't actually read it.
I don't say the parentheses.
No. But so, Marcy, what he meant by that was we actually had several people comment and talk about Shane. They said, what do you think it would
old
be like if
Western?
Shane was still alive?
Yeah.
You know, whatnot. Go back. I'll have to. Do you know which podcast?
It was
that?
either I think it was two podcasts.
Two podcasts back. We actually talked about that, about what it would be like if Shane were still alive, both with and without Rick.
It's the one with what if Negan met Dale?
Well, you know what? I don't know. Maybe we didn't discuss, because I think in our scenarios, both Rick and Shane stayed alive. Did we discuss what would happen if Shane would have actually gotten away with killing Rick and then led the group?
I mean, he would be in the same situation as Rick as far as the leader of the group, but I think he handles situations.
Shane was a lot more evasive than Rick, though. And what I mean by that, and we'll only touch on this a little bit because we've already covered Shane. But what I'll say is, and don't get me wrong, he's a badass. Like, he loves to fight. But his whole thing with that kid was either we kill him or we leave. Like, there was no let's stay and fight his group in case they come back. You know, he was like, either we kill him or we just pack up and we go, like now. So I believe Shane, with his Shane wouldn't have been as battle hungry, I feel, in the sense of if someone were coming, Shane would just be much more the pack it up, let's go, as long as he still had Lori and Carl to take care of. Mm-hmm. Where Rick was much more of the, we stay and we fight.
God, your Rick
type thing.
Always on point.
But I mean, then again, Shane was a hothead, so we could have very easily had Shane go off the rails and start a battle.
Shane would have got more people killed than Rick has.
I feel like he would have, yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like he would have. But like I said, he's seen. When he thinks that they're in danger, he has no problem with, like the prison with the governor. He might not have even stuck around. He might have just actually said, "Let's all jump in the RV and go." Matt, what are you looking for?
A pin. I'm
pin?
sorry.
Oh, jeez.
See, that's the thing I was looking for. You moved it on me. I'm so sorry.
All right. So yeah, Shane was still alive. I believe. It'd be a whole different story.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, I mean, he's very hot-headed. So, but he's also very evasive.
Michonne Grimes has got a joke for us.
Oh.
And so, what do you call a pea that fell off the fork?
I don't know, Justin. What do you call a pea that fell off a fork?
An escape pea.
Oh.
Who eats their peas with a fork, though? That's what the spoon is for. That way they don't escape.
Who eats their peas with a spoon? We're not animals.
It's rounded.
Yeah, I get that.
And the peas are
I'm going to have to side with JP on this one. When there's peas, I grab a spoon because the fork is just a struggle.
I don't eat peas. I don't know. And my roommate's Korean, and literally they eat everything with spoons. Like, I mean, it's either chopsticks or a spoon.
What about steak? Please tell me they eat steak with a spoon.
Holy
and a
cow!
knife.
I don't think I've ever seen him eat a piece of
Fix
steak.
him a steak and then
No,
report
we
back
had
next
steak
week.
one time, but I sliced it all up, so all you had to do was just pick it right up.
Oh, you cut it for him too?
Well, no, I cut it for all of us. Let's
Man,
get that straight.
when we have our live podcast and we cook out on the grill, because what we're planning to do is obviously do a live podcast leading up to the premiere next month, and we were, between us, obviously you all would be invited, but you don't live anywhere nearby. We're going to have a little cookout and everything before. So, Matt, I hope you bring that type of courtesy to our cookout.
I'll bring the burgers.
I hope you're going to cut it up and do everything.
And eat
we're
it,
going to have
chew
some
it up, and then
steaks too.
spit it into your mouth like a mother bird.
Burgers.
Oh.
Too much?
Only if
No?
you do JP first. I need to see how he reacts to
You
this.
say that every time. Do JP first.
Do JP first.
Regardless of the situation.
Well, you're not a sloppy seconds kind of guy, though. So
No, yeah.
Right.
I love how when we say stuff, we don't know where to go from there. We're like, yeah,
Well, I just love how when JP talks, it somehow becomes sexual.
Every time.
It's like, I don't know how to bounce back from this.
Oh,
Also,
man.
too, the new Resident Evil video game comes out soon. I know that's
and the
random.
movie came out
but
this weekend, didn't it? Or next
did it?
weekend?
I'm gonna go.
It
I'm
comes
gonna go
out
see it, even
sometime.
though I know
Who
it's gonna
knows?
suck.
Yeah.
But the new game comes out, so there's a pretty good chance we might do some game commentating on
that
that
game-
as we play through. So if you like that game, be watching our channel because we might have a playthrough of that.
There's so many movies and video games coming out. I'm going to be so broke by the end of this year.
But so moving on, we've got Jamsby says, what if Daryl never left the Claimers? Would they turn him into a bad guy? And then goes on to say, I feel like if they pushed him past his boundaries to do something bad, he would probably fight back. Well, we saw that when
Those
they
are the guys who
captured
tried
Rick.
to rape Carl.
No,
Right.
they're the guys that sing 5,000 Miles. And I would...
I love that. So
it's
they
the
don't.
Claimers.
They're not.
Not those
pedophiles
claimers,
after all.
the pro
different
claimers.
claimers. I don't think. I hope those claimers never tried to rape Carl. But these claimers, we saw that though. They did try to push him into basically betraying his friends, which they didn't have Daryl for that long. He was only with them a short stint, but. I think Daryl's loyal. Like, I think Daryl knew they were a bag of douche out the gate. Like, he just looked at them like collectively, these guys suck, but Daryl obviously is used to these kind of people. He's used to this kind of lifestyle. So I think, Daryl season 1 would have went with the Claimers. He probably would have turned into a villain. But now that he's had time to grow with Rick and come to know and love the group, I don't think you could ever fully turn him against them.
That made me chuckle for a second because it sounded like you said they suck butt. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That's
they do suck butt.
They do suck butt.
Lots of butt. One guy wanted Carl's
lots
in
of butt. All the butt being sucked.
But yeah, so I feel like Daryl, like I said, season 1 Daryl, probably if they could have gotten him like in the first couple of episodes, they probably could have turned him into a bad guy. But I don't feel like the Daryl they got could have been ever. He might have done some badder things, but I don't think he would have ever turned on Rick and them.
Would you say that Daryl's probably had the most character growth out of all the characters on the show? Who would you say has had the most? I mean, all the people that are living.
Glenn was my pick, but
okay, I'll agree
Glenn
with that.
and Michonne, because Michonne was very cold, very like solitary, very like she only went to the group basically because she was hurt, which not just because she was hurt, because she had a baby formula too, but she didn't need a group. She just survived better on her own, and I don't think she wanted a group of people. But now she's become very motherly, very very prominent figure. So she's had a lot of good character.
She still holds on to that stoicness, though.
Right, she still got that. She could go back to surviving on her own if she needed to. Glenn was my pick for the best character development because Daryl basically, I think, developed because the fans liked him so much. I think if the fans wouldn't have taken to him as like the redneck, oh, he's cool and different, they would have probably killed him off. I think they actually were going to kill him off earlier, but then the fans just latched onto him, and so that's why they were like, all right, we got to start making him. No, they were like, we got to start making him good, I guess.
I think Carl's developed a lot. I hate him a lot less than I did a few seasons ago.
You're right about that.
I do hate him less.
I do hate him less. I could not. By season 3 and 4, I was like, just kill this kid, man. The actor's fine, but
there are still times where I'm like, oh, Carl, come on, man.
I remember I had put on Facebook a while back. It was like, Walking Dead writers, if you're looking for your next character to kill off, please let it be Carl. And somebody comments and was like, that's so messed up. I met Chandler Riggs at Comic-Con, and he was awesome. I said, I didn't order the public execution of the actor. I just simply said I don't like the character. In fact, the actor, to be his age, is a pretty good little actor. I mean, he's just, we're watching him learn to act as he's on this show.
Such a fine line between fantasy and reality for some people.
But I'm like, I don't like the character. I don't want him to be. I'm sure he'll get another job. He'll be fine.
No, just a series of events where you get the cops at the door. Sir, did you put a threat on this person's life? They hold a picture of Chandler Riggs.
At that point, I would probably just be like, yeah, take me in.
Let's do it.
It's like, why don't in the interrogation room? Why don't you like Carl?
I mean, have you seen the first few seasons?
He's a little shit.
And then they go back and watch it. They come back in. All right, well, you're free to go. Let's wrap this case up, Johnson.
Yeah, he was a douche. But Carl's had some really good development. But I would say my pick for the best and what I feel would be the more realistic character development was Glenn's, because it took him a long little stretch to kind of go from being this meek pizza boy who had a good heart and was brave in his own right, but still was kind of a coward, and kind of to the point where he punched, was it Nicholas or the other guy that he punched at, you remember last season? He straight up decked homeboy. Like season 1, 2, and maybe at least season 1 and 2, Glenn wouldn't have punched anyone.
And a lot of that is
that guy shot at him, and he stayed behind the dumpster, terrified to move in season 2 because he just locked up. Whereas this season, Glenn was much more. Well, season 6, he wasn't in season 7 much, but yeah.
When Maggie came along, it gave him something kind of more to fight for.
Right?
That helped a lot with the catalyst.
Let's see here. Dede Washington, very loyal listener, and pretty much writes our show for us with all of the good questions she gives. So she says, what if Negan left community managers at Alexandria, Hilltop, Kingdom locations? And I don't know that I said exactly that, but I know that if you go way back, I mean, this is probably like the first podcast of the season, I actually did mention, I had said, Negan, if I were Negan, I would leave someone at these locations, because you're leaving them completely off of. I hope I've scared them enough.
Live there, with
right?
them.
Like I would
like a house mother.
Could be
or a wet nurse.
Again, like it's a real occupation, but the way that you say it, I just don't.
I mean, because if he was smart, obviously there is the danger of you leave them there, they could be assassinated in their sleep or whatever. But I mean, it's Negan. I mean, Negan's smarter than that. So what I would have done is like had a check-in point. It'd be like, and if you kill my man here, we're going to kill every single one of you. I'm the way Negan operates. I'm doing you a favor, letting you live. I could just kill you and take all your stuff, but I'm going to let you live. You kill my man, I'm going to kill everyone. Or or I'm going to, every time you kill one of my people, I'm going to line you up and eeny, meeny, miny, mo again. So I agree. I think if he left people there, it'd be a whole day. They wouldn't have as much time to plan. You know, I mean, it would definitely have been a smarter move on Negan's part.
Does his eeny, meeny, miny, mo thing even have like a set formula to it? Because I feel like he was just pointing to random people.
No, they said that in the show. He was. Because if you watch when he picks Abraham, he's sitting there with his arms crossed in the bat right here. He's like, it isn't like he's like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You know, I mean, he's just sitting there. He's like, and you are. And then he's just sitting there with his arms kind of crossed. And he looks at Abraham and he's like, it. And then I think, like I said, I think he decided out the
warfare,
gate.
Yeah.
And the comic, I think it was more actually formulaic. It was like eeny, meeny, because he had reasons why he didn't want to kill each one of them. He didn't want to kill Heath, which wasn't in the lineup in the show, but he didn't want to kill Heath because he didn't want to seem like a racist. He didn't want to kill Glenn, same reason. He was like, I don't want to be a racist. He looked at Michonne and was like, there are like 1,000 things I'd love to do to you, and killing you is at the absolute fucking bottom of that list.
And Abraham wasn't even in the lineup.
Abraham was already dead at this point. Sorry, spoilers. I know. Caitlin Howard said she just started the comic.
Oh, and she actually did say that she doesn't mind. She actually likes spoilers.
Oh, okay. Well, so Abraham's gone at this point, and he had a reason why he didn't want to kill each one. He didn't want to kill Rick, obviously, because he's the leader. He didn't want him to be like a martyr, and then he didn't want to kill a kid. You know, whereas in the show they said they kill kids 10 and older, which is crazy because Negan in the comic wasn't nearly that brutal.
Yeah.
But so I do feel like in the comic it was a lot more eeny, meeny, miny, mo. But no, in the show I think he decided the second Abraham sealed his fate the second he stood up to Negan. You know, Negan was like, "This guy is not. I'm not going to break him." Like
so if I just stand, well, shit.
And he's huge, so he'll probably break me.
Yeah.
So, I think leaving people at the locations would have been a much safer route for Negan to keep from having any uprisings. Isn't that what the British did? When the British,
I wasn't there. I don't know.
Didn't they have they had like British soldiers in American colonies and stuff, right? It's a way to keep them in line.
It was something where if a redcoat wanted to stay in your house, you couldn't refuse.
Right.
I remember that.
It's just kind of like in a police.
So Negan should have taken a cue from the British and been like, "Hey, I'm going to leave my people here to make sure there's no uprising."
Well, speaking of Abraham,
which there still was an uprising, but nonetheless, they
right.
It would have been a lot more blindsided.
I read something on Variety this is like a week ago or so, because they've already finished filming the second half of the season, of this season, or they're wrapping up or whatever. There's talks that the producers are getting Jeffrey Dean Morgan to bulk up in between the seasons. To kind of make
they probably have had a lot of comic fans, and again, I do understand that it doesn't have to be just like it. But the thing is, my main reason, like the governor. Now, you didn't. If we could have podcasted then, you would have never heard me complain about the governor, because the governor was this frail little man. He was not. He wasn't a fighter. Like, he punched one of his men one time, but I mean, if he just was good at getting people to do his bidding. But the way they played it off in the show, I fit so much better with like this Southern gentleman and yada, 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 and it worked. I didn't complain one bit that he looked nothing like comic book governor. But with Negan, just half of Negan's appeal is just he's just this big, scary-looking dude. I mean, it's kind of like, I thought I had an example in my head, but I didn't. But it's just like that was
Henry Rollins.
Right. Well, that was half of his appeal was that he's just this big, scary guy, and that not only does he have this army, but he looks like he could just break you in half himself.
He was based off of Henry Rollins, right?
Yeah, they based the design off of Henry Rollins.
That's where a lot of his like raw sex appeal came from too. He's just so beefy.
Right. Like there's a scene where he gets out the shower and some of the more recent comics.
Calm down.
And
it's true.
And I mean, like I've heard girls. My girlfriend, look, JP's fan. My girlfriend was
radiating off of you.
My girlfriend's like, look, I know it's a comic, but damn, that was kind of hot. I mean, so.
But I've talked about this before, but I'm a firm believer that he doesn't need to be big, and a lot of it does come from just like growing a fondness for the character from the comic, and you see it, and then you're like, well, I mean, he needs to be big. But as I don't know, just from watching
and
the
it's
TV
different
show,
for you because you hadn't read the comics.
But also, I see it in, even if I had read the comics, I would still accept his size, because I think his personality speaks it, and the fact that he's got all these followers.
They just pretty much switched the governor and Negan, more or less, because governor was this skinny, frail man who was good at manipulating people, and Negan was this big, scary guy who intimidated people, basically, because he would kill you, and they switched it. So you had the governor was this big and scary dude who could actually whoop ass and was very physical and badass, and now you've got Negan, who's somewhat badass, but really kind of skinny and frail, and more or less just good at manipulating people.
It's crazy
into doing his bidding.
If you look how skinny he looks on the show, and then imagine how skinny he is in real life, because they always look bigger on TV.
You're right. Well, the camera adds 10 pounds. They say.
How many cameras?
We just watched. It was a movie he did in 2012 that what was it? Not The Tenant. It had to do with like a apartment complex. It starts with the M. What's the not The Tenant?
Moana.
No, I'm gonna
La La Land.
But anyways, it was a Jeffrey Dean Morgan movie, and I mean, he just not that long ago, he was a lot thicker. Even in Watchmen, which was a while back, he was pretty beefy.
Yeah.
It's like they made him intentionally skinny for this role.
But do we ever see him without a shirt or a robe or
we saw him in a
T-shirt?
T-shirt, and I could tell you he's skinny as hell. I mean,
in Watchmen, because I remember he was always wearing armor
Watchmen,
or something.
Watchmen, he didn't have sleeves. Watchmen, he had a sleeveless vest, and he had the arm pads.
He did look like a motocross.
Oh, he was from Vietnam. I mean, he was like one of those Vietnam era.
Good movie.
Even better graphic novel too. Mm-hmm. I liked the movie made some changes. I actually did like the whole monster thing. Was kind of out there in the graphic novel, bringing the monster through as opposed to setting off a bomb. And
because in the comics, in the graphic novel, Dr. Manhattan's not responsible for it.
No, they make it look like an alien invasion.
Right. He's trying to frame Ozymandias tries to frame Dr. Manhattan or something.
Well, he tries to make it look like they're being invaded by aliens to make everyone unite and fight the aliens. But to bring the aliens in, it's going to kill a lot of people to bring the aliens in initially, and of course. In the comic, they all just accept it, except for Rorschach. They're all like, "That's a good idea, actually. Okay, cool, let's go home." Mm-hmm. And Rorschach's the only one that's like, "No, I can't do
it."
And that's so
you're locked in here with me.
Freaking.
Oh, I want to leave now.
You don't like my Rorschach impression?
You're just scared.
Well, I got to mess up on one every now and then.
We are in a small room.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see him a little beefed up. He's about to go toe to toe with Rick, man. Rick ain't no joke. Rick was a good size. Rick was kind of small when it started. Mm-hmm. They made him a little stockier, but not unbelievably stocky because this is zombie apocalypse, man. Mm-hmm. People ain't really getting their protein shakes and gym time in. So,
dog food.
But if he's about to go toe to toe with Rick, and hopefully we get to see Jesus be badass this season.
I am ready.
For this half of the season.
That too much. I'm ready for that.
And Denise Washington said she was talking about the body slam Morgan put on Carol last season when she mentioned her injury when we were talking about the
right. We were like, what injury
podcast.
Are you talking about?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, how bad did it put Carol out though? I mean, it put her out for a few episodes, right? But
they haven't really touched on them that much this season, so we don't know how.
I mean, not long after she mowed down 4 saviors. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think it had that big of an effect. I think honestly, I think it was good for Carol because it showed her. Because Carol for a while there was getting kind of untouchable. She was she could kill anybody she wanted. She was manipulative. She really, I think, in her mind felt like she had. I mean, I know she hates the killing, and that's a good thing. She kills and she has remorse for it. She doesn't want to do it again. But she kind of, it could have made her realize, hey, I'm not untouchable. This dude just straight up body slammed me. Kind of took the wind out of her sails for a little bit. So I mean, it could have been. It's never a good thing to body slam a woman. But I'm just saying, in this case, zombie apocalypse. You've got
tell
her,
that to Ronda Rousey.
No kidding. Well, here lately she ain't slamming nobody.
No.
But yeah, so hopefully that clears that up. And is it Eliza or Elisa?
I think I've been saying Alyssa.
Alyssa Jet. How do you think they'll handle the upcoming villains that we've been hearing about since the walkers are so decayed looking and skeletonized? Do you think all of a sudden the walkers are going to become fresher looking again? Now, when she says the upcoming villains, is she referring to the Whisperers?
I think the Whisperers and the Seaside people.
If they bring the Whisperers in, I feel like it's just way too early for that. Let's get through the Negan saga first. I mean, because March to War and All Out War, some really good storytelling and some
that's
really
going to cover
good
the rest
twists
of this season and probably next season.
Right. You could end season 8 with them beating Negan more or less,
and they're clear through the next 2 seasons, right? They've signed. I know that Norman Reedus and Andrew Abraham Lincoln all the time. I want to call him Abe Lincoln.
He does good work.
Yeah, Abe Lincoln or Andrew Lincoln, both of them. Look at all they've accomplished for people. Norman Reedus and Andrew Lincoln have signed contracts for the next 2 seasons, so they're clear through the next 2.
Right.
I believe that's what I read, or at least this one and one more.
Yeah. So I mean.
They're making too much money.
I hope they're not talking about the Whisperers, because I would feel like that would just be way too rushed. I mean, that's its own storyline with Negan involved, but completely separate from the all-out war. So I hope they don't go that route yet. I mean, at least let's get through. I mean, if you want to tease them in season 8, that's cool. Like if while all-out war is going on and you kind of want to like tease us that the Whisperers are out there, that's one thing, but I wouldn't fully introduce them until you finish with the whole Negan saga. I kind of hope the whole
boots at the water sanitation plant or whatever.
I think that's going to be all right. And maybe there's more on it, because I'm not going to lie, it's been a busy month or two. I hadn't gotten to do as much research as I do. I mean, but the last I had read, there were some leaked pictures of like this trash site that had been built up kind of like a fort, and it was like kids. Like
I remember you saying
trash
something
kids,
about that, yeah,
and that those boots were like perfectly matched.
Trash children,
which it might not have been. I could be completely wrong, but that was the last I had seen as far as and it could have been the Whisperers, but then again, the Whisperers didn't really. They just kind of move with the herd. I mean, they don't really set traps, and I don't know. I hope it's not the Whisperers.
The Whisperers are like Alpha and Beta and all them, right?
Right.
The Whisperers.
You got Alpha's the leader, and Beta is her like lover. Big beast, and you get to see him and Negan go toe to toe, which is pretty awesome. Because you can tell from the first time they meet, man, if they don't fist fight before this story's over, I'm just not interested, and you get to see it.
Nice,
it's pretty awesome too. But see, that's the thing. Again, Beta's about as big as that doorway, and Negan, he's bigger than Negan, and it's like. I mean, it's like I tell people when they're like, it's not about the size of the fight, the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. That's true, but you tell me, do you ever see a German Shepherd losing to a Chihuahua? It's like it's not going to happen. I mean, not saying that they might not scare them. I mean, I'm
really imagining that fight in my head now.
I just see I'm talking to willing participants too, not like, oh, there's been cats have chased bears. No, I'm talking about. Because you've had videos where like cats chase bears off. No, I'm talking like both participants want to fight. They're going at it.
Send an email to Michael Vick. See if he knows.
Oh, put him.
Thank you. Shots fired. Thank you. No, we're never going to get over that. Sorry.
But anyways,
he's sitting somewhere like, let it go.
But yeah, so I hope they don't bring them in too early. And the walkers being decayed, I don't know, because in the Walking Dead world, like 90-something% of the Earth's population has been wiped out. It's like 5,000 zombies to every living person. Yeah. So the rate of people turning probably is not great enough to create a herd of fresh-looking zombies. I mean, at this point, the majority of zombies you're seeing have been zombies for a long time. Yep. I mean, you get fresh ones here and there, but I mean, I don't think they make up the majority. Like I said, so basically at that rate, you'd have one fresh one for every 5,000 decayed ones. Is kind of a way you could look at it, with 5,000 to 1.
I'm terrible with math, but I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah, like I said, I think it said it's 5,000 zombies for every one person left in the world.
You talking about that study that was a couple weeks ago?
No, that was actually kind of... Well, Robert Kirkman, he said something, and someone did the math, and it basically equals out. Or Robert Kirkman might have said himself 5,000 zombies to every one person.
God, it's crazy.
But you can use the math to calculate how much of the Earth's population is left. But, so yeah, you wouldn't have... I mean, fresh zombies really are something you'll encounter more one-on-one than I think you will in a large group. Caitlin Howard said she just got to the farm in the comics. Hey, unlike the show, you won't spend too long there. The comic actually, the show, cool fact, stayed there because they kind of ran out of money in season 2. And so that's why the majority of season 2 was, or pretty much all of it, was filmed on that farm. And cool fact, here in our studio, I actually interviewed someone whose cousins own that land that was filmed on.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's not too far from, was it like 8 or 9 hours away from here?
Yeah, so his cousins, that was their farm, and the production paid them quite a bit to use it. Basically, they had to stay off of their land at certain points. They own it, but hey, we paid you good money, so from this hour to this hour, you guys have to vacate the premise.
Do they live there, or they just own the land?
They live there, in that house and all of that.
Y'all go shopping for about 12 hours.
From what he told me. I mean, now that could be complete BS, but he seemed like a pretty trustworthy guy.
And I imagine the studio would be like, okay, we'll put you up in a hotel room for a couple of days.
Shooter, the movie with Mark Wahlberg. I actually know someone who knows the family who owned the farm that a lot of that was filmed on.
That's a TV
where he's
show
in the barn. I saw that.
With Ryan Felipe?
Is it good?
I have no idea.
It's weird how, TV shows used to spawn a movie, and now it's vice versa.
Yeah. But the farm, you won't be there long. You'll be at the prison, and the prison was some of my favorite storyline from The Walking Dead, man. The prison fight that you're going to get to in the comics, you're going to see a lot more death than you did in the show.
You're in for so much.
Everybody and
you ever
their
seen
mama
a baby
dies.
eat its way out of a woman?
Oh, my word.
Let's see. She said, I never understood why they didn't want to stay, or while they were on the road after that, struggling so much, why they didn't just go back there to the farm.
Yeah.
They did in the comics. Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I think they touch on that as far as they go back to the farm after the prison thing.
Yeah.
But there's a reason. Well, all right. She said she didn't mind spoilers, right?
Yeah. I just literally said.
Well, for those that are wanting to know,
Caitlin,
you can give it like 20 seconds. But no, the reason they do go back to the farm to stay there.
That's where they all kind of rendezvous.
But then that's where they meet Abraham and Rosita and them, and that's when they tell them about their little mission to get Eugene. And I think that's kind of what gets them to. And I don't think Maggie wants to be there anyways.
Because
she's in a bad place after the prison.
That, yeah,
really bad place. So. But you get to see Abraham, which is I loved Abraham in the comics, man. I mean, he was probably one of my favorite. Him and Michonne are probably my two and Glenn are probably my favorite, like page to screen.
Oh man, Michonne, like they did Mama Shone, they did an awesome job.
And like I said, Abraham, man. I mean, they really did a kick-ass job with him too. Michael Cutlets, or however you say his name, did awesome.
Michael Chicken Cutlets.
But Daisy Cake says, what if Negan would have allowed Spencer to take over? That's an interesting question. But which, I mean, if Negan was smart, that's what he would have done. Would have let. But then again, though,
keep him in his back pocket.
He says in the comics though that he doesn't want to kill Rick because then that'll just make him a martyr. That everyone will just rally and that'll inspire like an insurrection. But I feel like he could have definitely taken Spencer and used him as kind of like a plant. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. If I just dethrone Rick, everyone's going to freak out. We might have a full-out revolt on our hands. Like, they might even kill you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you work your way to the top. You know, first things first, I want you to be my eyes and my ears. You tell me anything going on here. Get on the inside. Like, you could have some really cool storytelling with that as far as getting Spencer to do his dirty work. But then again, I don't know. Negan is very smart. So, I mean, who are we to question Negan's decisions?
And at this point, he doesn't see Alexandria as a threat at all. You know, he's just like, I
think he sees how outnumbered they've got them. He sees how now they have no weapons. You know, no guns, no bullets except for Rosita's, which, you know, is now gone. So I think you're right. Anyway. He sees them completely as a non-threat, and he's not worried about it. But I would have definitely, I don't know. But then you wouldn't have had that badass scene, which I thought was so well done.
Oh, beautiful.
Let's see. Gage Waltner says, what if Rick had cut Carl's arm off? Well, dinner time will be a lot more awkward. Sitting around the table, it's like, how's your arm, son? Well, Dad, it's fucking gone.
When you're eating your spaghetti,
excuse my language. I know,
when you eat your spaghetti, Carl, you need to use a fork and a spoon because you curl the. Oh, sorry,
Carl. I told you, take the fork in your left hand and cut with you. You know what? Give it to Daddy. I'll cut it for you.
You're missing his eye and his arm. He's very off balance.
Carl's a little trooper, man. Like he told him, he's like, man, poor Carl would just be he's like the new Herschel. He's just getting taken apart piece by piece. No like there goes the eye. Now you lost an arm. I feel like it would have just made Carl that much more of a badass / like ruthless. I mean.
Go up to his room, lock the door, and put on My Chemical Romance.
But yeah, I'm not okay. But you know, he's been through so much. Like Rick and them have the luxury of remembering their past lives, whereas Carl was just a kid when it started. So I mean, this is pretty much all he's known the majority of his adolescence. So I feel like losing his arm would have just made him that much more of a cold-blooded killer. You know, it'd just been like. Ruthless, because Rick did so much with only one hand. So I mean, Carl probably still could have been a badass with one arm. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, dinner time would have been a lot more awkward. If we could bring one character back and then kill one that is on the show now, this is a good one. If we could kill one character and bring another one back in their place, who would it be and why? Matt, go.
I would bring back Denise just to kill her again.
Oh my God!
All right, well, taking that out, can I get?
Okay, yeah. I'd bring Rick. No, I'd bring Carl back. No, I'm just kidding again.
I told you, Flashpoint.
So I would bring Abraham back.
Abraham, there you go.
I want to see more of it. Like I've made peace with Glenn being dead,
right?
And I think it's going to help Maggie's story more. Like I still think she's got a little bit of growing to do. I know she's done a lot, and she's definitely a 180 degrees different person than she is now. But she's still got a lot of like changes and stuff coming. So I'd like to see Abraham cook because I just liked his Abraham and his isms.
Yeah.
And if I had to kill somebody, I'm still sticking with Denise, man.
She's dead. Pick someone else.
If I had
that's
to
the
kill
deal, right?
somebody,
You're swapping them out,
yeah. All right, bring Abraham back, and I would kill Heath because he's not really contributing much right now.
No, they really
that's a safe kill
didn't
for
use
me.
him as good as they did in the comics.
And he's doing plenty of work, so
Right.
the actor's got work.
And again, Heath, not the actor.
Yeah, not the actor.
No.
But
All
so
right.
that's mine.
JP.
I'd bring back Merle, absolutely.
Oh.
I was a big old Merle
And that'll
fan.
come into play for a question later, so that's good.
And who would you have killed in his place?
I think Sasha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
why
not
is
really
that?
on the Sasha train.
Well, Merle's an awful racist.
That's
so
very true. That's
one
very
less
true.
personal. No, just kidding.
No, that's how Merle would feel.
Yeah.
Well, and then too, also that wouldn't really get by Michonne.
No.
That is true.
You know what I mean? Michonne,
true.
racist or not, Michonne would kick his ass, so it wouldn't really matter. Yeah. But you saw he started kind of coming around. Like in the beginning, he was
they
a
were
racist
bonding.
asshole. But I mean, Merle started really kind of coming around. But,
Heart of gold in there somewhere.
yeah.
I mean, when humans are an endangered species, it's kind of hard to be racist at that point.
It's
just you and the dead.
Yeah, you'd be surprised about some
But
racism.
so you would kill off Sasha and bring back Merle.
And plus, that would eliminate the whole, thing with Abraham and Rosita, and Rosita's heart wouldn't have been broken.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many characters I would have loved to have met on this show. Could you imagine Merle and Abraham meeting? Like how awesome that would be. Because Abraham, Merle could throw down. Merle won't
Go to the very last question on your page.
So I will. Hold on. We'll jump to that in just a second. But that would have been awesome to see them together. All right. So we've got, you would kill off.
I would kill off Heath
and bring back Abraham. You would kill off Sasha and bring back Merle. I don't know. I'm like, I agree. I have made peace with Glenn's death, but I would still like to see him in there. I feel like he was a solid voice for Rick. Like he was a good backing for Rick. Gosh, there's so many. Let me think through the list. You've got Merle, which I would like to see Merle back too.
Yeah.
I mean, like a nice reformed.
Yeah,
Merle.
a nice reformed Merle.
Yeah.
Still mouthy, but he could like leave the racism and drugs behind.
Yeah, less meth smoking.
Not so much capturing and torturing people.
Not as much.
Gosh, I would love to see Abraham and Glenn both back. Who else have we lost? Dale. I would have loved to have seen how Dale would deal with this.
Well, you said quite a bit. You would have rather Daryl gotten Lucille than Glenn. So
Yeah,
is that
absolutely.
the route you would have
I
went?
just feel like that would have had more of an emotional impact, like a shock on the audience too. But if I could do anything, now I'm interested to see where they're going with Daryl. So I'm not going to kill off Daryl just yet because I'm hoping that they're going to switch it up because we've seen loyal Daryl. I hope that we're going to see like a whole new Daryl.
I'm looking forward to seeing Daryl back to
a lot darker. I think we're going to see a lot darker. From what I've read, Norman Reedus said Daryl's never going to let he knows he got Glenn killed, and that's never going to be something he's going to shake. So that's going to pretty much dictate how he reacts and things he
I hope
does.
that doesn't get like a broken record kind of thing where like every other week they're like, Daryl, get it together.
So I don't know. I could kind of go with Sasha too as being the one that I take out because
You monsters.
I'm not, The Walking Dead has lots of real. Actually, know who I could kill? No, I take that back. Now, I'm not a big fan of Sasha. I don't dislike Sasha, but she's just a character for me has got lots of lovely ladies on this show. Maggie, Michonne, Tara. You've got lots of women who do great on this show. So taking out, but you know what? I'm gonna save Sasha. I'm gonna take out Tara. Because I don't mind Tara, but she's just not really done much for me. So Sasha can stay safe. Tara will be the one that I would kill. I feel like she's going to die soon anyways. I mean, I feel like her story's pretty much done. But I would take out Tara and bring back... I feel like if I say Glenn, that's going to piss a lot of people off. But if you want me to be honest and not just BS for the sake of BSing, then I'm going to say Glenn. Because that's who I would love to bring back. Just because, I would love to have seen him raise his beautiful child.
I changed my mind. I wouldn't kill off Heath. I'd kill off Enid. Because Carl doesn't need that distraction.
I want to see where Enid's going. I'm going to leave that because, it's perfectly fine. That's yours. I can't think of anyone more than Tara, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think, is there anybody? Because I don't want to go too minor, You don't want to pick somebody that's just standing on the sideline. Tobin, right? He's still alive.
I don't even remember who that is.
You could kill Tobin. Nobody likes Tobin. Isn't that the one that Carol was having a
Carol's hooking
relationship?
up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's still
There we go,
alive.
yeah.
He's not a bad
He's
guy.
dead on the
but
inside.
All right. Where are the big Tobin fans out there? But yeah, so
no one ever.
So you're going to kill Enid and bring back Abraham. You're going to kill Sasha and bring back Merle. I'm going to kill Tara and bring back Glenn. Which I
nice.
can see Glenn's story like, well, he's done though, and I get that. I just really felt comfortable with him on the show. You know what I mean? Like he just was a staple for me. But you know what? My backup would be to kill Tara and bring back Shane.
Oh, okay.
I just would love to see like a whole best friend story arc where Shane like disappears a few seasons. And then kind of, you could see what he's been up to in flashbacks, but he comes back with this whole nother group. And
my favorite episode ever, what was it, 20 Miles Out or whatever, where like Rick has the opportunity to leave Shane for dead when he's trapped in the bus, but he actually comes back for him. That was my favorite episode, the whole series.
Wow.
It's a great episode.
Such a long time ago.
Yeah.
You get to see that. I remember watching as it happened, like watching them brawl. I text my dad because I had said straight up, man, if Rick and Shane get to fighting, Shane's going to whoop Rick's ass.
Yep.
And Rick was actually holding his own, and I had text my dad, and I was like, Rick's actually holding his own. And he was like, I'm not watching it yet. And I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
But that was a really good episode. But I just feel like if Shane were to disappear and come back and find out that Lori was dead, you could have some good, like, bloodlust, you know what I mean?
Oh,
he
yeah.
comes back already not liking Rick and them, like he's left. He comes back and then meets them or whatever, and there's tension, and then he's like, where's Lori? And then Rick says, she's dead or something, or someone tells him that Lori's dead. Oh man, he'd be looking for Rick's head on a platter. That would be some good stuff. But so yeah, and now you said go to the last question.
Just because you brought it up.
We don't. Matt's the only one. Matt's the one in charge of putting your comments on paper. So we hadn't read this. Emma Tomlinson. This is just a funny idea, but what if Abraham and Merle had met? Oh man, no kidding. I bet they would either respect each other or just get into fights all the time over who gets to say the funniest yet cringeworthy things. If so, who do you actually think would win? Between the two of them, Abraham would whoop Merle's ass.
Yeah.
I think so.
If it was a straight up face to face brawl, like Merle didn't have it. If Merle had the chance to be sneaky, I feel like he could pull a dirtier move and kill him. But if it just came to like they're face to face and Merle. Which Merle has a sword for a hand,
I was going
too.
to say, he's got a bionic hand.
But I feel like Abraham's just a mule, though, man. He's just strong as hell. He just is ruthless, and he's a soldier, which Merle was a soldier, too. Merle has former military experience, so.
But I feel like Merle would run from combat quicker than Abraham would.
Because the meth's making him paranoid?
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
All the
I was going to say
colors
because he
and
literally
lines.
died by going into combat. And then.
Learned his lesson.
Right.
So there you go.
No, I feel like Abraham would beat Merle in a straight up fist fight, but that would be a really good standoff. I would love to see them two just mouthing off at each other.
I think Merle he'd be much more, he'd be using dirty tactics, like groin stuff. And,
Right.
Pulling
Point
hair.
stuff, yeah.
Abraham's just one of those guys. If he could just land a good shot or two, it'd be game over.
God.
But yeah, I would have loved to have seen them two meet. I don't know that they would have. Well, considering Merle was so racist and Abraham had the hots for Sasha, I don't know if they would have respected each other.
I could see them constantly just punching and then saying a funny one-liner. Like it would start out, Abraham would punch Merle right in the face. Merle would have like a bloody mouth and everything, and he'd look down, he'd look back up, be like,
"Stay down, you son of a dick!"
And he'd just be laughing. He'd like, "Boy, you're gonna have to hit better than that to keep me down."
Yeah, that would be a
go to
really
the big fight.
interesting. I wish they could film like alternate realities. It's like Shane meets Abraham.
We're taking donations. We have started a GoFundMe. If you could please just send money to 118 Westover Drive.
Let's see. We've only got a few more here. We did gauges. Joe W., very loyal commenter, says, what would Mama Shone be like if Andrea was still alive? It's a good question because, there for a while, I almost thought she had the hots for Andrea. They were tight.
They were.
Like, crazy tight. Which, I guess it's just, in her, in Michonne's defense, obviously,
BFFGF.
being that good of friends doesn't necessarily mean they're lesbians. But, Michonne had been on her own for a while. She kind of saved Andrea, kind of just like fell into the friendship. And I think being that's the first person she'd connected to after so long, that's why Andrea meant so much to her and why she felt so betrayed when Andrea decided to stay. And she left. It's like, you've been on the road with me for how long? I've kept you alive, and now you just have this one good-looking guy shows up, and you're basically trusting him over me.
What I wonder is who Rick would have wound up with, Andrea or still Michonne.
Well, obviously, if they would have followed comics. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. It'd have been Andrea.
You think they still would have stuck with that?
I think they would have, most likely, but I don't know. Because they're sticking so much with the comics now. I feel like if she were still alive, because originally, actually, part of the script was going to be one idea they had where they were going to kill the governor and leave Andrea in charge of Woodbury.
Right.
which would have been I would have loved to have seen that. And then you would have had Rick and Michonne would have obviously gotten together because Andrea wouldn't have been in the picture.
What if they were in Alexandria and Rick brought the breath mints to Michonne and they're sitting on the couch and then they kiss and then Andrea comes down the stairs and see them kissing and then goes back upstairs and pretends like she doesn't know.
Oh man, I was going so much different in my mind. I thought she was going to say she comes down and she sees, and then she kind of just jumps in there.
Oh, a throuple.
Don't forget me, guys.
Right.
It is the apocalypse. Give me some of them breath mints.
It is, yeah. There you go.
But yeah.
Oh, wow, that story. Okay, so that went a little differently than we're on two different networks, I think, with those.
Right.
Ideas.
Yeah. I don't know why when you said that and you said her coming down the steps, in my mind, I just saw.
You watched Cinemax last night, didn't you?
No. So Tallulah 876 says, if there was ever a
zombie apocalypse,
which character from the show, alive or dead, would you choose to pair up with? You're only allowed to choose one. And who would survive the longest between us three in a zombie apocalypse?
I'm pretty sure I'm first out.
Think you're first out?
I'm the slowest, and I'm the comedic relief sometimes in groups of people, so I'm pretty sure I will be the first to die.
But you're a magician.
Before we get to that, hold on. Before we get to which one of the three of us.
Zombie, I don't know how that would work.
You could totally fool them, I'm telling you.
Is this your card?
It would be a lot more useful than you think.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
You could wow people into protecting you.
That is true.
But so before we get into that, we'll say, number one, I'm going to pick Rick. I mean, we've seen when Rick wants you to survive, like Carl and Judith. I mean, which that's a bad example because Lori did die. But Rick will die to keep you alive. You know what I mean? If you're Rick's friend. Like Daryl. Like, I feel like, with Negan, obviously, he couldn't just go. But he had plans. He wanted Daryl back. I feel like he would have eventually worked. I'd pick to have either Daryl or Rick on my team. Daryl more for the fact that he can tell you what you can and can't eat. He can survive with you in the woods longest.
Here, eat this. Daryl, I don't want any more dog food, please.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go with Daryl because though Rick is more ruthless, he's a great leader. It just depends. Do we get character developed Daryl after he's gotten used to people? Because season one Daryl, I wouldn't want to be stuck with.
Yeah, no.
So I'd say more domesticated Daryl was who I'd rather survive with.
House trained Daryl.
Right, right. He doesn't make a mess in the living room.
Right.
Daryl, damn it, it's a new rug.
Sorry, ma'am.
But yeah, I'm gonna pick Daryl because Daryl probably is way more outdoorsy than any of us. So
I'll agree with that one.
Then
I'm gonna pick Morgan. Yeah. Because Morgan would help, not only the
help
protection.
You keep your humanity.
Right, he would help. Yes, he would help me grow spiritually, mentally, and physically.
He could still, but that's a good idea. But he could also still get you killed from his not like you could have say you've got somebody that keeps screwing with you and whereas Rick or Abraham or someone would have just eliminated the threat. And they keep coming back. One night maybe you're sleeping because Morgan refuses to kill him, and they're like. And then they kill you in your sleep.
Same thing, like Daryl. The minute you're in a big zombie, he just has a blank out for a second because he's guilty that he killed Glenn.
True.
Or then Rick.
But then I feel like he would fight harder to save me because
Negan comes out of nowhere. I'm going to eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Go ahead and kill him. Kill him. Kill that guy over there.
No, I think Daryl would fight harder because he's already lost someone. He don't want to lose someone else. And
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I feel like Daryl would be much more ruthless at killing someone to keep you alive, being he's already lost someone because of his actions.
You got a lot of faith in that.
I don't think that would make him, not.
You and Daryl would definitely win over Morgan and myself.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Morgan's got a stick. I've got my wit. Mm-hmm. And you guys have bow and arrows and guns, so
I don't do much bow and arrow stuff, but he does. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But so, all right, JP, who would you pick to survive with, and why?
Probably Maggie, just because I'm in love with her.
Oh boy!
All right, well, assuming you can't have.
We
didn't put any rules on it.
We don't know that she'll have sex with you, though.
You're just assuming she won't have sex with me.
You are putting Maggie, way too much sophistication on yourself.
Now, look, I glenify.
How suave are you?
How small am I?
No, how suave are you?
Oh.
How small are you?
How did you just
that was
assume
a very
that?
personal question. Well, Maggie may not want to be with you. How small are you, bro?
All I'm saying is I identify with Glenn more than anyone. I almost said I glenify.
I know. I'm sorry that I glossed over that joke. I glenify.
But it was a total accidental joke.
How do you I glenify?
It's a great verb, isn't it?
That is good. I like that one.
But yeah, I feel like I would be maybe Maggie. The Glenn of the group.
Strictly physical? Is that the only reason?
No.
I mean, Maggie now or Maggie 4 seasons ago?
All the Maggies.
Okay.
All of them.
Wow.
Gregor's
That would actually
Maggie.
be,
So
oh my God.
you're with Maggie.
Me and Maggie are holding it down. We're riding a horse together.
No, you know what? Screw that. I take mine back. You know who I want to survive with?
You said Daryl originally, right?
Freaking Michonne.
Okay.
A, she's a female.
That's true.
B, we know she can survive. Like, she's survived on her own for how long and kept Andrea alive. So I'm gonna go with Michonne and 2, she's like ferocious. Like, do not cross her. I'm going with Michonne. That's who I'm surviving with, and she's pretty attractive. So that
wouldn't do anything for me. I mean, just because I would be like, "How's it going? You doing all right?" She would just look at me and be like, "Oh, okay."
See, Glenn was like a nerdy, shy guy, and Maggie still,
Are you saying you're a nerdy, shy guy?
I have my moments. That's for sure.
I would pick Maggie over Michonne only because I would think that Maggie would be a little more open to conversations, whereas Michonne.
But we get to pick which one. I'm picking developed Michonne. I'm doing developed Michonne.
If I find a warm zombie body, I'll just take a run at it.
There you go.
I don't need any females in the zombie apocalypse.
All right, so which one of the 3 of us would survive the longest?
I'm out. Like, straight up, I'm the guy that dies in the first 10 minutes, so you realize the stakes are serious.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I might outlast you, Justin, just because I think you'd be a little more heroic, whereas I would be the first one to just whoop, split, first sign of trouble.
Well, I'm glad you think I'm heroic.
I would be hiding in the hollowed out tree
We're pretty
stump.
sure that you would.
Rick's heroic, and he's lived.
And I think you have the most shooting experience out of all 3 of us.
That's you.
Sure.
So that comes in handy. You have the most fighting abilities. Like, you're the most trained physically. And
And I think
it's like in the apocalypse, the first thing that happens, I step out, I crack my knuckles, I like punch somebody in the face, grab my gun, I'm like, Matt, JP, follow.
Oh God, what do we do? What do we do?
Shit, we banked on him.
That's so funny.
What do we do?
See, you'd be more willing to put yourself in dangerous situations, whereas I'd be climbing a light pole or something.
That is true. You're so agile.
I am like a spider.
That's another thing I can't climb. I'm not climbing anything.
Oh, I'm good at climbing.
Are you good at swimming?
Yes, I am a very strong swimmer.
Oh, well, that's something we all have.
Well, but we saw a couple episodes ago, doesn't really matter. Zombies are still going to pull you down.
Yep.
So it's open. Matt doesn't think he would last at all. JP thinks he would survive longer than me because he's cowardly.
Would keep me alive. Yes.
But I don't know that would necessarily keep you alive as long, because you might be easier to manipulate or kill. I mean, you climb a tree, but what if like someone like Negan comes by and shoots you out of the tree?
Or
see, that's where I would thrive. I would thrive with real people.
Right.
Because I have good people skills. So I think that I could, I mean, I'm not saying that I could talk Negan out of bashing my head in with a baseball bat, but I would try.
Right. Right, and tell him to suck your nuts. I mean, even though he's killing you, he seems to find that funny.
I'd be like, no, I'm just kidding, man. Not really. Just don't hit.
But please
don't
put that down.
But yeah, I play too many role-playing games, so I'd just be over-encumbered. Like, every little thing I come across, I would collect. It'd be like, oh, maybe somebody's going to need a can opener. Ooh, maybe somebody will need some old cornflakes. Ooh, I'm going to carry these diapers. Who are they for?
So Matt puts it between me and JP. JP gives it to himself because he would climb trees and run away.
My cowardice would keep me alive.
I don't know that I would just jump into a crowd of zombies, though, unless it was somebody I really cared about.
Yeah.
You don't think you could throw yourself into a crowd of zombies to save someone? No. So if Matt or myself were trapped, you wouldn't come in there to save us.
I would just chalk it up to fate.
I would try to save you, JP.
Well, and I mean, that's what would get you killed.
I would die, but I would try.
I would go find help.
Hey, Rick tried, and look how long Rick survived. Rick threw himself into dangerous situations time and time again.
Where's the quality of life?
It caused problems for him and Lori. He was going and throwing himself in dangerous situations so often. And look at him. He's still alive.
True story.
Do you know who was a coward and who's now dead?
Napoleon?
Glenn.
Oh.
Which, he wasn't a coward when he died, but, Mm-hmm. I'm hungry. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Was that you?
Yeah, that's my stomach.
I thought it was the beast in the basement or something. That was crazy.
Which Glenn would still be braver than me, because he was going down in the well and running into it.
Yeah, Glenn. Actually, no, I'll tell you that. Glenn wasn't really a coward. Glenn wasn't really good at
Let's not put him in my category.
face to face. So all right. All right. Here's a good one. And then we'll close out, because I think that was finally
speaking of hungry, Yay Toy Unboxing was making Thai basil chicken,
which sounds delicious.
And that concludes your weekly Yay Toy Boxing dinner update.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. The more you know.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? I thought of it myself.
Good job.
Here's a good one to end on. All right, if you had to pick, because I just thought about it when he was like, "Don't compare me to put Glenn in my category." If we had to take the 3 of us and say which character are we, who would we be and why to the others? I've already got mine from Matt, so we'll see if you agree with me. If
I
not,
hope that mine that I have in mind is the same as what you're thinking.
If you don't agree, just tell me who you think. I think Matt would.
Hold on, don't say it. Let's do it. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and then let's both say it at the same time and see if we say the same thing. You ready? 1, 2, 3, and then
Eugene.
That's it. That's what I was going to say too. Let's do it again real quick. We'll edit that out. 1, 2, 3. Eugene. Oh, that's so exciting.
So I could see you being the Eugene. Not so cowardly. I think you'd be a lot braver than you think.
People don't take him as seriously, but he has a lot to contrip.
Right.
And that sounds like my personal life.
Who do you think? You think Eugene would be him? Were you thinking more Maggie?
I was thinking that too, bro. We were on the same.
Well,
am I more like pregnant Maggie or sweet innocent starting off Maggie?
Like farm girl Maggie?
Like farm girl
with
Maggie.
the nice short
I just don't want to see you wearing the short shorts. And
Well,
actually, I don't think she wore short shorts.
Don't
but
look
still,
on my
I don't-
Facebook.
yeah. Oh,
So
damn. All right, so JP, you look kind of doubting. If he's not Eugene, who do you see him as?
I'm trying to
this
peg
is
it.
interesting. Here we go.
Oh, geez, now everyone's turning into me.
Look at you. Here you go. Should I take the glasses off or leave them on? Just don't think about the beard.
You're doing something different with your hair today.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm not combing it. I'm just waking out of bed.
No, it is.
I'm just prolonging a haircut for the past month and a half.
That's me.
Yep.
I guess Eugene would be the best fit. It is too much pressure now.
It is.
I can't go
I mean, if you can think of someone, and
I
if you
can't.
think of something between now and next week, you can change that.
Okay.
But
No.
I go with
Nope.
Eugene. I could definitely see the Eugene.
That's so funny because as soon as you said that, I thought that too.
Maybe
Now-
I'll
T-Dog.
take it, man. I love Eugene. I have a very fondness for Eugene.
Hey, I like T-Dog.
T-Dog, okay. I'll take
Very
it.
underused character. He could have
Yeah.
done a lot more than they did with him. Now turning it to JP.
Tyrese.
JP's Tyrese.
The gentle giant.
The gentle giant. Oh, I miss Tyrese.
I do too. His episode was one of my favorites. His send off. It was so different and so, it was really cool. Really sad, but really cool. So who is JP in all of this zombie apocalypse?
That's a very good question.
So he said, don't put Glenn in.
Yeah, don't put.
No,
I think he's got a lot dirtier of her mind than Glenn does.
True.
Oh, maybe. What, dirty? What?
I could see you as Spencer, but not like a douchebag.
I was gonna say Spencer too.
Just not douchey.
Right,
You
no,
know?
not a traitor. Which I don't know. He said he was cowardly and would do what he
Yeah.
had to survive. So I wouldn't count JP out as a traitor.
If I had to,
So yeah, so okay, I'd say Spencer then.
Spencer.
Okay.
Okay, so JV, Spencer, and Matt Eugene. We all know I'm Father Gabriel.
Oh,
so
is that
it's
what that
time to
was?
move on.
Okay,
No.
sure.
No,
All right.
definitely don't have the cool, calm collectedness that Father Gabriel has. Have a little bit more of temper to be Father Gabriel.
That's true.
So who would I be? I'm going to give you Michonne. I'll be Michonne. Actually, no, just playing. I'm not.
I was
good
gonna
enough
say
for
I was
Floyd.
gonna say Jesus, mainly because of the physicality of it, and the fact that you
He's
kind of
really, really
I would
small,
see
though.
you
Like,
as a-
he's like
well,
5
I'm
foot
going
nothing.
more like game plan, like it's
Okay.
well, I'm sure.
He's
I'm
like
sure
5
Eugene
foot
is
and-
taller than me.
Right.
But,
okay, so Jesus.
and
I just don't want
Spencer's
the
dead,
listeners
so-
that they hear that and then they go, "Oh, he must be really, really short." Like
That's fine.
Like,
I'm thinking.
no, I'm a cool 6
Yeah,
foot.
Justin is actually 4'3".
Right, really tiny.
Borderline little person.
Right.
Actually, when we were talking about climbing up over the building, we were just going to throw him up in there.
So Jesus.
Yeah, I would say Jesus, just because I think
can
you have,
do Jesus.
You
The only-
play the field like you don't show loyalty to one specific group.
I
feel
think
like
the only reason why I wouldn't say Jesus is I'm not near as cool, calm, and collected as he is. I think I pretty much would have Shane's temper
Oh, there we go.
in Jesus, but I wouldn't
Shane.
I wouldn't pick Shane for myself because I would never kill one of my best friends. I mean, it
If
makes-
you were in that situation,
No,
would
I
you?
don't.
have to
I
hide for
think
his
anyone
lady?
that knows me, like my
Come
friends,
on.
will tell you of like friendships. Like I keep it pretty loyal. Like I don't think I could see myself over a piece of ass. I'm not gonna kill my best friend over that.
Especially when you could add Andrea.
It'd be one. It's not like Shane betrayed Rick because like they were only one of them was going to get out. He betrayed him basically because he got with his wife, and I guess it was so good he couldn't get it out of his head. I know I would not kill a friend over that.
Well, then the jury is still out on that. I would be eager to hear from our listeners.
But
on
see,
who
they don't
think.
they don't know me though.
But
All they
from
know
what
is a
they've
voice.
what they've listened to, I think they've got a little bit of grip on all of our personalities, a little bit.
Like I said,
So I'd
I
like to
don't,
see what
think
people think.
Shane. I wouldn't. Like I said, I couldn't do that. Like that's one of the things I try my damnedest to do with friends is stay
People
as
gonna comment
loyal as
back
I
and be
can,
like,
but-
"Yeah, he reminds me of Rosita. He reminds me of Carl."
Hey, Rosita's badass.
That is
She
true.
stood up to Negan.
That is true.
Tried to kill him.
It's a terrible shot.
I don't know. I gave y'all answers. I mean, if you want to settle with Jesus, I can settle with Jesus. I think the only
That is
difference.
Christianity's new slogan: "Settle for Jesus."
I think the only difference between Jesus and I is I would have broke Jeffrey's. Was it Jeffrey? Gregory. I would have broke Gregory's jaw instead of giving him the stink eye for putting trying to betray. He's just kind of like. Jeffrey or Gregory, excuse me, Gregory. I would have just straight
Jeffrey
up broke his jaw, but I don't know. But yeah, I could take Jesus. I don't think I could take Jesus.
Right.
Maybe the show Jesus, but I could go with Jesus. I can settle with that.
That's what I think.
I don't want the audience picking because then they'll pick somebody like.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. Do it anyway. Just
no,
do it.
Don't pick somebody because then they'll probably all pick someone like. God, I would be like that one guy that died that one episode. He didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm. I remember that one. Mm-hmm.
So we got Spencer and Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got a nice little group here.
Do we?
Yeah.
You talking about like as far as just us three or our characters on the show?
In the characters.
Okay.
Matt, the only other person I could think of for Matt would be Eastman, maybe. I think
okay,
a good
cool.
Eastman.
I could see Eastman.
He's
always preaching
Cool.
at happy.
We're going with all the fat characters. That's
hippie
awesome.
bullshit.
He
All
was
right.
not fat.
Let's just go. He has a bigger bone, a bigger frame.
I mean, no, Eastman's kind of chunky.
Go ahead and just throw Deanna in there or whatever.
But Matt is very like woo-shy, happy-go-lucky, hippie
Thank
type
you.
shit. So,
man. Yeah, man.
Pretty much.
That's right. I'm just
So,
here.
you know what, Eastman?
Happy-go-lucky.
I could see Eastman more than Eugene.
See?
I'll take it. Either way,
see
I'll
Eastman
take it.
more than Eugene.
I like that was a fun. I really would like to have seen that character in more than one episode.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's what gives a character like that such gravity is that they come and go in one episode and they leave a really big imprint.
Yeah,
you know?
Eastman was awesome. I'd like to have seen more of his story. So Eastman now. I could actually see now that Eugene is free. You were my first for Eugene, but I could actually see JP as being a Eugene.
So we'll switch it up.
You said you're very cowardly. Eugene is like the most cowardly of the cowardly.
Says very funny things.
Has a southern accent. Has a mullet.
And sometimes these funny.
JP doesn't have a mullet.
That's true. Man, I've been meaning to tell you about that. You are business in the front, party in the back.
Hey,
but I could see Eugene for that too.
In the back, in the front. Yeah.
I could I'm not Shane. I'll just say that. I am not Shane.
Well, if you say so.
I mean, I am not Shane. Okay. Rick has a bad temper, but doesn't betray his friends.
True
you know
story.
what I mean? Rick has a terrible temper. You piss Rick off.
Yeah, don't do that.
Shit's going down.
None of us were ballsy enough to be like, I'll be Rick.
Yeah.
I'll be Rick.
I'll be Rick.
You gonna be Rick too?
No.
We're all Rick.
No.
We're all Rick.
Although sometimes I
Rick.
do pick up the phone and just talk to someone when no one's there. I have done that.
See somebody
that would actually be a cool scene. Like if everybody was like, we are Negan, and then somebody stepped up and be like, we are Rick. And then like have group against group. And then they clash together. All
just saying their names. Like Rick Negan,
Rick.
Yeah.
It just sounds like birds calling each other.
Yeah. But all right, so that's going to wrap it up. This one went way over.
What a successful. That's dude. Okay, so I'm sorry if I didn't get to some of your comments. I tried to some of them were just like great show, great listening to it, stuff like that. Some of them were questions that we covered in other podcasts. You can go back and listen to our other podcasts if you have a what if question. We may have covered it before, but it's getting to the point. So there's so many comments now that I can't fit it all on one page, and it would take me compiling this took a good 45 minutes. So I can't. Like it would just. I mean, it's a great problem to have, but I apologize if we didn't get to your comment. If you made one, just keep commenting.
Make it again, and eventually we will.
And don't forget to tell us who you think Justin would be.
Man,
so I'm pushing that. Oh man,
I
hope it's nothing but
nice. Rick.
There we go. I hope it all comes back and everybody's like,
bite
Rick,
your throat out in a heartbeat.
Oh jeez,
but
you are hungry, aren't you?
I wouldn't bite my friend's
really
throat
hungry. I feel like my neck is made of French
toast. If you're going to make a guess, let me just close again by saying I would not kill my friend over a piece of ass.
And if anyone does believe that, then I don't think you know Justin at all.
Right. JP's like, I work out with him. I think he would.
I know, you were very suspiciously quiet on that one.
Yeah.
You think I would do your girlfriend?
Well.
Everyone else has.
Hey-o! With that,
man.
We will see you again next week. Thank you so much for listening. Again, remember, keep telling us if you want. We want to do a live podcast for the premiere of Season 7's mid-season. So we're really excited about that.
That's in 3 weeks.
JP's pretty determined he's going to get off work.
I'm working on it.
I'm already off.
He's off. I'm off. We're going to do a live from the Man Cave podcast. You'll get to see the nerdy side of my Man Cave.
It's looking nice. He sends me pictures every other day of stuff that he's done to it. Man, I'm really excited about it. Looks really nice.
It's getting there. It'll be a good little backdrop.
Nice.
So
You'll
see us there.
Pole down there.
Oh yeah, with a stripper. I pay her.
It's mainly for support of the building, but it works.
Yeah. And I pay.
Who?
I forgot her name. I was actually going to say Regina was the first thing that popped up.
We
have
work
someone
with
that
Regina.
works here named Regina, so I didn't want to say
How
it.
unfortunate
Because
for
Regina's
her.
not a stripper and doesn't act like a stripper, but it was the first thing.
She could make some money.
But, it just was the first name that popped in my head. Probably because that's whose door I had to kick down
There
earlier.
you go. There you go. And Regina it's just a random name to, sometimes you pick
Beautiful
them.
name.
That's I use the name Linda when I do improv, and my best friend's mom's name is Linda. So whenever I'm telling jokes or something and I use Linda, she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm not talking to you. You said Linda."
Let's start a fun game. We'll use a phrase at the end of each podcast. Maybe we can use that going forward to pick contest winners, to know that you listened all the way through.
What's to stop them from going to the very end and just
They could.
minutes.
But at least for this first one, we know that they're being honest.
That is true.
So today's catchphrase is bitter coffee and kicking doors down.
Bitter coffee and kicking doors. Jeez, that's an album name if I've ever heard it.
Right.
7-car pileup. Introduce their new album from Time Life. Bitter coffee and kicking down doors.
Yep. So comment that. Let us know how many people are actually listening to this all the way through, because this one went really, really long.
And Amethyst Love 33. Email us.
We want to give you this awesome prize.
You get an ear necklace.
JP's threatening to add ears to it if you don't email us soon.
Yeah,
so.
And I don't know where he's going to get them from.
No, don't worry.
Bitter coffee and kicking doors.
Yep. Comment that. Let us know you listened all the way through. Also,
That's
live from the man cave. Let us know that you do want to see that.
I've been seeing that a lot more.
I have. I've been very happy with
happen.
that. So
it's going to happen.
We're going to do it. All right. So we'll see you next week. I'm Justin.
I'm Matt.
And JP.